Yesterday was a loud day in Purdue Twitter sphere circles because of some Fletcher Loyer dialogues. And I don't still fully know why, but I just know it was all over my timeline. I guess the real reason why is Purdue started practice yesterday. And so players met with the media for the first time, and you could just see players in the practice jerseys and all that. Fletcher Loyer, first off, there's a video that kind of went around with an interviewer who's like, Fletch, looks like you put some muscle on. And he kind of chuckles. And he's like, can you tell that to Twitter? And then there's like photos of Fletcher scrimmaging, and he like very clearly doesn't look stronger at all. In fact, his arms look smaller, I think, than they did in the season. I don't know how that happens. Do we care about this at all?
Uh, we care a little bit. We care a tiny bit. Only the reason we care is like I'm really actually intrigued how. Like how do you just not like gain just a tiny bit? Like why do you always look, shaped like a wacky inflatable whatever outside of a car dealership guy? Like I don't get like how he doesn't noticeably look stronger while in the meantime everyone else on Purdue's team comes back and at least looks like they did something. Like at least like took some illegal steroids or something to make their arms look bigger. It's just like I don't understand how, in his third year in the program, there really hasn't been much body transformation. But at the same time, I've seen that same body take it to Bam Bam Boswell and Caleb Love. I've seen that same body have Zakai Ziegler and Vescovi in hell. I've also seen that same body put up 0 points in the national championship game. So it's like I have a hard time deciphering how to feel about that. It's just like, isn't the one thing you talked about that your wish list for Purdue, the best case scenario for Fletcher Loyer in our video that we did the other day was that he looks noticeably stronger. That was it.
Yeah.
We didn't get that.
Yeah, I understand like jokes at it. I understand like frustration from fans at it. It's also difficult because like Cam Heidi looks like a transformer. Like straight up. That dude, I like Shia LaBeouf's gonna come out from underneath Cam Heidi, like, ugh, like I don't know. I'm scared right now. Miles Colvin looks jacked. Even some of the freshmen, like Jakari Harris, looks pretty strong for a freshman. And that's not to say like Purdue did work on Jakari Harris right now, but like it just Fletcher Loyer looks like the scrawniest guy on the team still, and I don't get how. I don't really care though, and I want to give some love to Craig Bowers because Craig Bowers, Boilers in the Stands, friends of the show, they do a great job. They're constantly interviewing Purdue players and people involved with the program, and him and Joe Jackson and Greg Braggs just they crush it. We listen to them all the time, and we've had them on the show before. We got to get them back on the show at some point. But Craig was kind of white knighting the good fight yesterday of like, can everybody calm the F down here? Like Fletcher Loyer, yeah, okay, it's a picture. Pictures don't always do justice. And regardless, like our fan base is being cruel to Fletcher. And that's the important thing to pick out of this entire thing for me. Yes, it's funny. And for content purposes, I would do the same thing. Like as a fan, I'd be like, can you please bench press just once? But Fletcher's a really good player as currently constructed without inflatable bouncy arms like Armando Bacot had. And the reality is Fletcher is working in the weight room, whether or not it looks like he has gains. And you probably know this way better than I do. I think sometimes strength shows differently for people. Like it's
A million percent. Like you'll see, like even speaking to like during my playing days, there was guys on our team that they look like Fletcher, like they look like they did not touch a weight, and then you had guys on the team that had arms like me, but the guy on the team that had the scrawny arms, he was one either stronger or two maybe functionally stronger. It's not all about like what your arms look like. Sometimes you're stronger in other ways. And I know you were cooking right there, G, so I didn't want to cut you off. But also, like, the weirdest part about this is it's a lot coming from Purdue's fan base. Like, I get other people joking about it. Like, I get like other fan bases being like, "Oh, Fletcher's like scrawny, doing this, that, and the third." It's just wild to me that Fletcher seems to be like this Purdue scapegoat that everyone just wants to pile on and move to the bench and get his spot taken so quickly when he has been a career 40% 3-point shooter on two Big Ten championship teams, on a Final Four team, on all these accolade teams, and like he's the scapegoat. Like
Yeah.
Michigan State fans want to make AJ Hogarth the scapegoat, which is somewhat earned because like we're losing, and Hogarth is part of that. Or like back during the Bingham years, like we were like, oh, we want more out of Bingham, we want more out of Bingham. He was like starting on teams that lost. Like you are like Loyer being the scapegoat basically is a little bit odd to me. That wouldn't be the way I would go about it, I guess.
Yeah, here's the reality, and it's a toxic part of this sport, but it happens everywhere in all sports. Every single college basketball program that isn't UConn had a scapegoat last season. You can go up and down the list. Who was Kentucky's scapegoat? It was John Calipari. Who was Michigan State's scapegoat? It was AJ Hogarth. Who was Michigan's scapegoat? It was Juwan Howard and Doug McDaniel. Who was Kansas's scapegoat? Kevin McCullough. He quit on the team. Like
Or Timberlake.
you can literally go through all these people and point and be like, that guy stinks. And Purdue was so good for so long that there wasn't much to nitpick at. But if you were going to nitpick, it was the guy who didn't score in the national title game that looks like he has spaghetti arms. And that's not fair to Fletcher because we know big game Fletch is a real thing. Fletcher led the Big Ten in three-point shooting. Like he has been a stud. He's been one of the more underappreciated players. And if I could compare it to a guy from recent Big Ten basketball that is relevant in your world, it feels very Joey Hauser-ish right now. Like Joey had to go through a couple seasons at Michigan State where people really just like rolled their eyes and were like, why isn't this guy better? This guy can't guard. This guy doesn't rebound. All he is a shooter. And I think I used to point it out at the time and try and tell you, like, it's because Joey Hauser doesn't look like a Michigan State front court guy, right? Because you guys were so used to athleticism and toughness and muscle. And Joey Hauser was like this doughy shooter. And by the time he left, there was a respect for him that I don't felt was there. I didn't feel was there the whole time. I think we're going to get to that point with Fletcher, but it's hard because he's always compared to Braden, and you've always had a star in the front court. And now, quite frankly, Miles Colvin and Cam Heide are like the more exciting, fun guard wing prospects here, right? Like Purdue fans are all excited about the upside of those guys more than they are about upperclassman Fletcher. And I don't think it's fair to Fletcher, one. But two, I would echo what Craig said, which is like, let's all take a step back. Jokes are jokes. It's fine. That picture of Fletcher's really funny. This dude's still one of the best guards in the conference. When we do our top 25 list, he's going to be on it.
Yeah, I was also, let's play a game here. What Big Ten team wouldn't take Fletcher Loyer right now?
None.
None.
Illinois might pretend they wouldn't, but
they would pretend they wouldn't, but they would. Mm-hmm. Like every team would. So let's you know.
Would Indiana?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
They need shooting. Yeah.
Yeah, they would. Honestly, I think he might start at the 2 for Indiana.
Yeah, they'd probably. Yeah, you're right. They would.
Yeah, the Joey Hauser shot was a good one because that used to just absolutely irk me. It was, and I think I see like Craig rightfully doing the same thing with Fletcher right now.
Yeah. So, are we officially Fletcher Loyer guys?
I mean, I've always been Fletch guy. I will say this, just to play devil's advocate here, to go on the other side of it.
Let's do the complete other side now for 5 minutes.
No. Like just for actual basketball purposes, it truly would help Fletch if he actually was like a little bit stronger. Like definitely. I get it. Like he might be, and we don't see it. But there's a lot of times where, well, even in the national championship game, I think he was physically overwhelmed and could not really do much. And there's a lot of times where kind of like he's going to the hole and like falling, flailing all over the place. I think if he had a little bit more strength functionally, it would help his basketball game tremendously. Obviously, I think you think about any basketball player that gains strength, it could help them definitely offensively and even defensively. And I think maybe it's more so like wanting more for Fletch, because I think there is some more if he was able to add, some strength to his game.
Definitely. I just have this. I believe strongly he is like a weight room warrior. I don't think this is laziness or like he doesn't do it.
Well, Purdue has a chance to shut this down. Like we see a lot of preseason weight room lifting videos, If Fletch actually has that, please throw
That's what I'm
him in
saying.
there and show him throwing up like 185.
Can we just see Fletcher on a bench? That's all I want. Show me 10 seconds of Fletcher Loyer actually in the weight room, and all of this is deaded for forever. But the fact that we don't do it is kind of a little like, can I at least get like a box jump or something? Anything? Also, final thing for me. Are we underrating the possibility of Fletcher Loyer being the Big Ten's villain for the next couple of years? Let me give
I
the
hope.
pitch real quick. Let me
I
give the
hope
pitch.
not.
Let me give the pitch. Weight room guy that like his own fans are kind of like on, and he's already like kind of throwing a shot at the fans in the media where it's like tell the Twitter that I actually lift. Two, he flops. He's the best flopper in the Big Ten right now. That's like a necessity to be a villain in this conference. Three, he actually has that dog in it. We've talked about it. Big game Fletch is some shit. Like the next time Purdue's in the Maui Invitational, we expect Fletch to go for like 28 and be talking that shit. I kind of think he's quietly the next great Big Ten villain here in the next 2 seasons.
I don't like that.
He's more like, I'm trying to think. I feel like he's more Harvey Dent than he is like the Joker. Like he started out as pure good guy, and now through reasons that were not his own fault, he has to go dark.
The Joker would not be blown away by a 17-mile-per-hour gust of wind.
The NBA draft is coming up, and I've got something awesome for you. We are partnering with the people at NBA 2K Lab. NBA 2K is the best video game on earth. The people at 2K Lab are making some awesome stuff to make that game even more fun, and they just launched their 2024 NBA Draft Simulator, where you can find the official Sleepers Media big board. We ranked our top 75 players in this draft class. Me, Carter, Brian Ralph, Riley Davis. We did it together, and it is featured on the 2K Lab NBA Draft Simulator. You can take control of any team in the draft, play GM with just one click, and see our entire rankings before these videos even come out. Check out the link in the description of this video to try out the draft sim for yourself, and you can find more mini games at nba2klab.com/NBA-mini-games.